So, Thomas, must be hard to get work out of this. I mean, I live, of course, just off London, so it's very easy to get the resources and the people, I had a very, very, very famous chef coming into my appointment a couple of years ago. I had to, of course, squeeze him away from the Michelin star. Well, actually, it turned out he might have had a little bit of a dodgy situation in immigration. So I told him, you know what is going to happen? If you don't come here and, come into my employment, I'll have a bit of a word with my friends in the government, and they'll arrange for you to be deported out. And you see, his family were here, and I basically told him I would move him away from his family, but now he's able to exist here and perfectly fine. I mean, that didn't take much effort, but does it take much effort for you? No, not really. Generally, I just employ the local people. Of course, I have to hire them fairly young, because they can't really have any chance at a proper employment. Oh, why? Well, because, because of the fact that, I'm kind of taking advantage of them, like, one of them, very skilled at cooking, could cook anything really, and they're not obviously a senior cook. I wouldn't allow them to rise to a level of authority, or be their own boss in a way. I wouldn't allow them to not have someone hanging over them, giving them directions, just because they're good at their job. No. But they are very skilled at it. They're not my main cook, but they are an assistant who is very good. But you see, if they went off to London or somewhere else, they might be able to get a job and be well enough paid, They could go to a very fancy restaurant. They're able to do a lot of dishes. But you see, the benefit is, I took them in when they were only 19. So I can basically, because they had no experience, they were unemployed for a year. So basically, I can pay them minimum wage, Very smart. You see, this is why, Thomas, you are the smarter one of the both of us. I would have never thought of that. I would never thought of that. Anybody else? Well, yes, actually. I have a little place upstairs where I let all the maids and the valet sleep. We actually had a new man come in to help us out, but he is very useful. He's managed to show me all the little ropes. It's a very, very effective thing, you see. Yes, and I have, of course, told you about that. And yes, really, in fact, do you want to come down to the place? Is it very dirty? Oh, well, you know what, how about this? I tell them to make sure it's good for an inspection. How about that? Would you do that for me, Thomas? That'd be very kind. Thank you. If that was the case, yes. Okay, I'll just get my communications device. Hello to all persons in my employ. Make sure all living quarters and working quarters are clean and what would you say? Good, effective, good for inspection. Time. Well, we can take a stroll in the garden. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Okay. So, shall we? We'll return in 5 minutes and have an inspection. Oh, you've got gardeners, do you? Yes, gardeners. They are very good, you see. You see, basically, you can pay them almost less than minimum wage. Those ones there, they're actually younger than 18. So I'm able to pay them such a low price. It's actually amazing. And the benefit is, I have actually sued 5 of their families for damaging my property because, I remember once one child accidentally took clippers and accidentally cut into one of my trees. So I took his family to the courts, and of course I made sure that the judge was someone I knew, and I think I took them for £5,000. I think that was it, yes. There you are. Ah, yes. So you employ them for less than the wage. Yes, it's very effective. You see, the beauty is you don't even need to sort of just, I quality test them, of course, but, if they make any mistake, you can just, take them to court, really, because they're damaging private property rather than, someone who doesn't make your bed right. You can't exactly sue them. I've tried it, I have to admit, but my solicitor said, no, that wouldn't really work. There'd be a risk that I would lose. But, I thought, no, I probably wouldn't lose, but, I wasn't going to take the risk at that time. I just fired her and made sure that she wouldn't be employed again by having it written on her resume, because I was, of course, the only person who would have employed her, so I was always going to write rubbish, if anyone ever came back to me and said, how was she? Apparently she told me I'd ruined her entire working existence, but anyway, let's go in. So, over here, we have, I don't know their names, actually. I'm sure if you went off and asked one of them what their name was, they could probably understand you. I think yes. I have to say, some of my friends think, the lower classes are a bit stupid, but I did once, one time, one of them, I wanted to tell them they'd made a mess, but I wasn't sure which one it was, so I knew if I said, peasant, come over here to be punished, that they'd all come over, but they hadn't all made the mess, so I said, well, what's your name? Peasant, to the man, and he said his name was Bob, and I said, okay, Bob, come here for your thrashing. And the point is that people say, I've had my friends say they can't tell you what the name is, but I think if you ask them in a clear tone, what you need to do is, you need to come down to their level, okay? So you come down to the level, so you say, what's your name? You see? I'll show you in practice. What's your name, woman? I'm Louisa. Oh, that's good. Thank you for your name. You always need to make sure you thank them, by the way. You don't have to feel thanks. You just need to, remember to thank them. But also, just so they don't get into their little heads that you're thanking them, you need to give them a little bit of a punch, just to make sure. Did I see something, sir? Yes, you did. You see, this is the best part. You see, they don't know. I heard one once. They're like, what did I do? I'm really concerned. You see, it really gets them riled up because they don't know what they did. They're too stupid, you see. Ah, yes, I see that. So, Thomas, what you're saying is they're too stupid to understand that they did something. So that's very funny. I'm going to do that when I get home. Oh, yes. Over here, actually, I do know this one's name. Mary, wasn't it? Yes, sir. It's not Mary, but, it's every single time he comes up with a new name and stuff. You just accept it. What was that? I couldn't quite hear. Yes, sir, Mary it is, sir. You see, I am not completely foolish. I know a lot of things. Yes, I do, yes. So over here, we have cooking. We've got a couple here. We've got our main cook. We've got our assistant cooks. There's 3 of them. And we also where's the fella who comes in here? I saw him once coming the last day. Who he brought the food. And he doesn't sound. He's not under your direct employee. He lives elsewhere. He also does it for the Rileys household. The Rileys. I don't like them. Why not, Thomas? Oh, you know these people. They become really wealthy. I quite like them, actually. No. I mean they become really wealthy, but then they pretend to act like nobility. What? Yeah, they haven't even got a knighthood. You know? Not even a knighthood in their family. I actually asked them, oh, so I guess, maybe you've lost the title, because you never know. Sometimes, maybe they decide to drop it. Maybe their grandfather decided to drop it because he went elsewhere, and, the commoners didn't like him having Sir in front of his name, and then they just, don't have it anymore. But no, I thought that might be it, but no. Instead, they don't even have a knighthood, not even one. I asked them, any knighthoods in your family, any peerages, anything like that, related to a prince maybe, but no, not one. Apparently they did a test, and they're actually really far away from the Queen. It's terrible, absolutely terrible. I think it's disgusting. Anyway, I don't think that we should be dealing with someone who connects with them. No, sir. He doesn't like them either, sir. Yeah, definitely, sir. Really? Okay, well, I guess we can leave it then. Anyway, so then we've got a cleaner who cleans up all the messes. They also do all the cleaning in the house, along with the maids, who are here. And there's 4 of them. And we also have the main man. I was telling you about him. Ah, yes, you are, yes. Anyway, next. So, shall we go back? Well, can I ask, when you have the garden, you've got the gardener, right? Yes. Do you have the mechanic? Oh, yes, the man for the car. To be honest, I forget his name now. I mean, there are so many names to remember. Oh, yes, I know what you mean, Thomas. I was only the last day. I hired my 40th member of staff. Now, I only have the smallest staff of all my friends. Most of my friends have far more staff than I do. But I cannot remember their names. Luckily, my wife is very good with that. Really? Yes, she's got an amazing memory. She remembers all 40 of their names. All of them. One day they even played a little game with her because they said that wasn't their real name. And I said, well, do you want to be fined and kicked out onto the street? And they went, I was joking, sir. They even played little games with her to see if she could still remember their name. It was very, very, very entertaining, to watch them. And it was cool because you could see that they could kind of act, because the look of fear in their eyes when I mentioned that they might be kicked out if they didn't, tell her that was their name. It was really good. I think it's a good workplace to be in. I think I run a nice workplace. I was reading in this paper. I accidentally picked up this wrong paper. I went to read the other one, but it was actually this thing about labours, and they was like, this workplace is awful. It was some company called Nile or something like that. Oh yes, I ordered a package off them before. Did you? That's good. Yes, apparently they've got absolutely awful working conditions. Workers have to urinate into bottles and push carts for miles every single day, and they're really they're pushed all the time, and they're not allowed to go to the bathroom and all these things. And I think, well, that's not that bad at all. I do that all the time. They were saying it was an awful workplace. I do that. And then they said, the whole pushing the cart though for miles, I don't do that, But then they mentioned the fact that they make them travel, they've got loads of workers, and they make them travel across warehouses. And I thought, well, why would you do that? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, surely if you've got a warehouse, why not just give, a section of the warehouse to, particular employees, and then you maximize profit? Because you're not telling workers to shoot off to the end of the warehouse, and instead you're saying, well, no, you do aisles 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the other person can do aisles 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and maybe 11 and 12 as well, if that's because that's a little less work per an aisle. The way I couldn't understand why you'd ever send someone all the way down across. It didn't seem to make much sense to me. Like, why not just keep someone in an area? I mean, it just didn't make much sense to me at all, really. I mean, like, how does that make any sense, It just doesn't at all, really. I mean, if obviously if a particular iron has a particular, amount of orders coming in, then you split them into 2 people or whatever it may be. It just didn't seem to make much sense at all. I couldn't understand it. I mean, why would you have a system like that? Anyway, so I was saying, well, they don't have a workplace like that, do they? They've got a nice, fun workplace where they can guess away, Yes. Yes. I mean, I think we do too. I mean, we've got a lot of employees, we have the maids, we've got who am I forgetting now? I'm forgetting someone. I'm probably forgetting a lot of people. You forget a lot of people, they just sort of drift off into the ether, I guess, Anyway, shall we return to our little conversation, yes. What was it about again? Oh, yes, that new thing. Yes. So, back to that, I thought, really, that my opinion on that was that